The headlines. Russia launches its biggest drone attack on Ukraine. It is the fourth attack in 8 days on Kyiv, and it comes ahead of the annual Victory Day parade in Moscow on Tuesday. It's 7 in the morning here in Singapore and midnight in London. We begin the programme in Ukraine, where Russia has launched its biggest wave of drone attacks on the country in months. 10 regions were targeted and at least 3 civilians were killed. Now, this comes after a lull in Russian attacks on civilian targets in recent months, which saw the capital, Kyiv, go days without an attack. The southern city of Odessa has also been targeted. Russia has stepped up its aerial attacks ahead of an expected offensive by Ukraine. A Ukrainian general in Bakhmut said Russia had intensified its shelling of the devastated city too. Well, Russia's Wagner Group boss says Moscow has agreed to his demands for more ammunition days after he threatened to withdraw his men from Bakhmut. Russian troops and fighters from Wagner, it's a private military company, of course, have been trying to capture Bakhmut for months, despite the city's questionable strategic value. Well, the British Foreign Secretary James Cleverly will be meeting the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken and leading fingers in Washington to discuss the US and UK's long-term commitment to Ukraine. Sudan's rival military factions hold talks in Saudi Arabia as thousands flee the conflict. We have a special report from the border with South Sudan. In the UK, as the coronation weekend draws to a close, Prince William and his son Louis join thousands around the country in community events, stressing the importance of volunteering. And China talks trade with the Taliban in a bid to bring Afghanistan into its Belt and Road investment project.
Palestinian officials say 3 leaders of the Islamic Jihad militant group have been killed in Israeli air raids on the Gaza Strip. The U.S. state of Texas is preparing for an influx of migrants days after a mass shooting and car crash left 16 people dead.
EU has cancelled its diplomatic event for Europe Day in Israel because of the planned participation of the far-right minister, Itamar Ben-Gvir. Organisers said they didn't want to offer a platform to someone whose views contradicted its values. Iran has executed 2 men accused of blasphemy as a rise in death sentences handed out by the ruling regime continues. The country remains one of the world's top executors, having put to death at least 203 prisoners so far this year.